Hello and welcome to another edition of JaMar Cup Fantasy Football Live. It's Week 10. We're getting real close to the playoffs, and nobody is officially in or out yet. Now that's very surprising to me. You know, after the draft we all said it's going to be very competitive. There's no one team that stands out way above others. I mean, I wouldn't have expected Scott's team to be 7-2 sitting at top all by himself. There were a couple other teams that I thought were better, but he had a good team. And there's really nobody that's been eliminated yet, so it's very bunched up, and I'm kind of glad to see that. Nobody's out real early, and everybody's still in it. I mean, Scott could technically fall out of the playoffs still. I mean, he's pretty well assured a spot, but it's going to be a good last 4 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get right to the matchups. First, we have You Can't See Me at 4-5 versus the Commish, also at 4-5. Now, last week, I figured was an elimination game between me and Zach. Not technically, he still has a shot, but whatever. Not mathematically, but the other word. Somebody in the audience, give it to me. Somebody. So, I pulled it out. It was real close. I was sweating it for a while. I didn't even watch the Monday night game. I said, nope, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to check my phone. I'm not going to watch the game. I was real nervous. So then I wake up and it's 4 yards. My season was saved by 4 yards. That was the week that I was the most worried about because I knew I had Brad coming this week. He had 5 guys on bye. Yeah, he has Rodgers coming back, but I mean, have you seen his bench? He started 2 guys for the Browns. I mean, pretty much. He started 2 guys for the Bengals, 1 for the Browns, but apparently that game was just garbage because he got 11 points. And I'm pretty sure A.J. Green was his second best player behind Rodgers. It's a bad week to take a bye, Brad. At 4-5, you kind of need each and every week from here on out. You're not going to get it this week, so you're going to need to win out. Rodgers is going to help, but I was very also surprised to see that you, of all people, picked up Allen Hurns. Not Ridgeway, but you. You guys been hanging out here lately? A little too much? You guys just never learn, do you? 2 touchdowns, 0. He's going to get 0 points. I mean, not like Rashad Jennings is going to get 0 points, but whatever. Now, for the Commish, I mean, I am talking about myself here, so it's going to sound weird, but whatever. I feel like my lineup's coming together at just the right time. I mean, yeah, I'll be sitting at 500 after this week, but I'm right in the thick of the playoff race. I'm bringing in a newcomer next week. I'm bringing in Ronnie Hillman. He's going to tote the rock for us a few times. So I feel like I'm coming together. All my guys are coming off bye. They're getting healthy, starting to get some yards. Now we're just needing McCoy to get you in that end zone, LaShawn. Go on and get you in there, Spurrier would say. So look for Brown to move to 5-5 and stay right in the thick of the playoff race. Brad, it's going to be tough sledding, but the season might be over for you. I'm sorry. Give me your money also. Moving on, we have Dong Shank Redemption, 7-2, at It's Just a Joik, 3-6. Now, this might also be a bad week for Scott. Or it could be a good week. I'm not sure. He has his 2 best players on bye week. Losing luck is, that's like 30 to 40 points that you're missing out on, Scott. But I mean, Palmer's been good here lately, and he just got paid, so hopefully he keeps it up. You're losing Foster this week, but I mean, have you seen Ridgeway's lineup? I mean, Roddy White was good 3 years ago. Jeffrey was, good last year. It was a good pickup in the 3rd round, but just something about Cutler and those receivers just hasn't worked out quite yet this year. But maybe coming off the bye, that'll all change. Now, I also feel that Peyton's going to have to throw about 7 touchdowns this week. I mean, although Matt's projected to win, I feel like Scott's going to get one of those weeks where, somebody will come for 30 points and he'll pull it out. Otherwise, a loss is going to bring you back to the pack, Scott. You'll be either, I assume you'll be tied with somebody for the top spot, but, I mean, a loss this week isn't going to hurt you, because you're sitting in first, but it's kind of a bad week to have your best guys on bye. It's just going to bring you back to the pack a little bit more and shuffle it all up. Now, personally, I feel like this is Scott's week. He's just going to, it's one of those weird weeks where Matt's going to get his 40 from Peyton, but then Scott's going to get like 30 from Carson Palmer, and then some nobody that we've never even heard of just going to be like, here's 20 points, here's 15 points, and Scott's going to win by 5. Take that to the bank. Mark it. Timer. Mark it. Still drinking that Schlafly pumpkin. Thanks, Scott. Next we have All Day 3 and 6 at Taste the Rainbow 4 and 5. I feel like either way, this is kind of an elimination game. If Zach loses, he's definitely out. I feel like he's probably already out. It's too many guys you got to jump over. This late in the year, you've got 6 losses. Just too many guys you got to jump over that you've already lost to. And for Mario, I feel like it's an easy win. It's one of those ones where I'm playing Brad. Just mark it up as a W and keep your playoff spot. Those points are coming in to help you, Mario. You're sitting in 6th just based on points, because going head-to-head, you've lost to pretty much everybody you're tied with. Now also, I'd like to take a moment here and point out that Anthony Dixon of the Buffalo Bills has officially changed his name to Booby Dixon. Now, if you'd like to insert your joke here, go ahead. I feel like it's pretty obvious. Booby Dix? Boob Dix? I'll take a moment. You process it. You good? You ready to go? Alright. Now, Mario, I feel like you're going to win either way this week, but I looked at your trade. I was like, Roethlisberger's coming off 90 points in the last 2 weeks, and Frank Gore was all you could get? That's good. It gives you another running back. San Francisco needs to get back to that. That's how they win. They're just going to pound the rock 30 times, give it 20 times to Gore. That's how Kaepernick does good. That's how Vernon Davis does good. They haven't been doing good lately, but that's how they should be doing it. So, in reality, it's a good trade, but I feel like you could have got a little bit more. But since you traded with Kyle, it's understandable. So keep it up. 3 weeks left. Next, we have Something Clever here at 5 and 4 versus Johnny Heismanzel at 6 and 3. This is gonna be a good matchup this week. I feel like it is. It's gonna be good. For Jason, it's all gonna depend on which Jay Cutler shows up. You're gonna get good Cutler, or you're gonna get bad Cutler. Now, I did say this is gonna be a good week, so I guess I'm banking on Jay Cutler going Green Bay is going to have a good game. He's never had a good game at Green Bay, but coming off the bye week, there's too many weapons there for him to suck this badly. Yeah, I know, the fantasy stats all say, hey, he's a good quarterback, he's getting it done, but your team's garbage. You're not winning. Cutler, I'm talking about Cutler, Jason. Just calm down. Throw it to Marshall a few more times. Throw it to Jeffrey a few more times. I'm sure Matt would like that. He only spent his 2nd pick on you. He's got nothing to show for it. Now, I've also been looking at your roster, Jason, and I just can't put my finger on it, but it might be a year too early. You're very young. You got Brandon Cooks, you got Ellington, Trey Mason, Sankey. I mean, you know, Sankey was an early round pick, but I think everybody takes that running back, the rookie running back in the 5th round. Usually it's me, but I told myself no more because they screw you. You're finding that out. But you know what? This might be a year too early. These are going to be good players in the future, but I just don't know if they're going to carry you, especially going up against A-Rose team. Have you seen that? Have you seen that roster? The guy's loaded with running backs. Now, besides his running backs, I mean, draw a name out of the top 10 running backs in the league, and they're on A-Rose team. Besides them, I feel like it could come down to Flacco. Joe Flacco. Now, this is very interesting, A-Ro. You're a Steelers fan, but yet you just load your team up with Ravens. Yes, the arch nemesis Ravens. We've talked about this before, but it's just very weird. I mean, I don't root for my team over the Raiders, so I'm not going to pick up a bunch of Broncos or Chargers or Chiefs. I mean, if I had the chance, yes, I would have drafted a bunch of Denver receivers. But I'm not going to cheer for them over the Raiders. Go ahead. Make your jokes. Oh boy, I'll sit here and wait. Just keep drinking my beer. Drown my sorrows. I tell you what, when the Raiders win a game, the next preview will be done over by Tim. So, it's a win-win, win-lose, win-neutral, whatever. So this matchup's going to come down to the quarterbacks. Who's going to do the best? Jay Cutler, Joe Flacco. Stay tuned. Playoff positioning depends on it. Now we move on to Snit Squad, 6-3, versus Michael Sam's Ditka, 4-5. The same kind of goes for you, Joe. You're going in the wrong direction. 3 losses in a row. I mean, you were sitting at 4-2 a couple weeks ago, top of the league. Just been downhill slide. You know, you got Gronk. He should at least save some of that. There had to have been a Yo Soy Fiesta in there somewhere. So you're going up against Snit, who's won 3 in a row. You're just going in 2 different directions. I mean, same goes for you that it goes for all those other guys. There's going to be too many guys that you got to jump over, you know, if you keep losing. So, I mean, but Brandon, you're playing Vincent Jackson still. It's one of those things where this year has been, you know, I'm not sure the word for it, but I've been guilty of it. I'm sure a lot of you other guys have been guilty of it. The name value just doesn't fly anymore. Vincent Jackson, if you look at the stats, is garbage. But it's Vincent Jackson, so you hold on to him. I mean, I've kind of been guilty with Vernon Davis. McCoy there for a while. It's like, yeah, it's LaShawn McCoy, but if you're only averaging 5 points a week, you're not LaShawn McCoy. So what do? It's that tightrope, you know, that pull, push, pull. It's a juggling act, that's what it is. That's it, juggling. I got it. See, I'll figure it out. You guys just stick with me. I'll figure it out. Now, Brandon, you better get this win this week because you're getting your buys. You got some late buys. You got Des Bryant coming up. Antonio Brown's coming up. I mean, 2 of your better players are going to be on bye here really quick. I mean, Russell can't put up 40 points every week. Now, as for Joe, I know it was a very dramatic pause, but I just had a burp building in my throat, so I needed to take a break. But, Joe, we talked about this last week. This is a very serious subject. Dwayne Bowe is not rosterable. Now, as I said that, I could picture Ridgeway at his house. Is he going to say roster bait? Is he gonna? No. Ridgeway, your roster is not baitable. It isn't. Not this year. Not last year. Not any year. Now this stat is going to come from, I was listening to the radio show. I'm pretty sure Elias Sports Bureau fed this to Mike and Mike or Dan Patrick or whoever. But the stat goes, no Chiefs wide receiver has caught a touchdown pass this year. Let it sink in. No Chiefs wide receiver has caught a touchdown all year. That doesn't leave too many guys. Jamal Charles, Travis Kelce. I mean, if I was a defensive coordinator, somebody sign me up right now. I'm covering Charles and I'm covering Kelce all day. I mean, Dwayne Bowe covers himself, really. Get him off your roster now. Not tomorrow. Now. Or you'll lose. Good day, sir. Now finally, we've got Owen Who, 5-4, versus Redheaded Stepchild, 3-6. This just blows my mind that Kyle is 5-4. And the looks of his roster this week against Dave's roster, he's gonna be 6-4. I just need to take a second to get things straight here. Kyle Newman, 5-4, 4th place in the playoffs. This is going to be Kyle's first trip to the playoffs ever. I know, I'm as shocked as you guys are. But you know he's getting a lot of production out of those Denver wide receivers and tight ends. He's got the Thomas boys. Demarius has started slow first couple games, but now he's just 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Seems like a week. Now you traded Gore away, Kyle. I mean, Roethlisberger's had a good couple weeks, and you know they're going to keep throwing it, but just might be you're getting in on the tail end. You know, it's like you come in, you sit down at the casino, and you're playing 21, and yeah, there's a couple wins in a row, and sure, yeah, let me bet the house. Let me bet the house. The house being Frank Gore. You just bet it all. You lose. Then you just bet 1 chip the next time. Oh, you win. You win big. But you only get 1 chip. I feel like that's what's happening here. You get in on the tail end of Roethlisberger, and he's going to slide off. But you've got enough on your roster to make up for it this week, going against Scott. Not Scott. I apologize. Going against Dave. Dave, now you're seeing how hard it is. How hard it really is. You know, it's that jinx of the championship game. It's the 2nd year in a row. Now only you and me know what that feels like, because we're the only ones to have ever lost a championship game. In 4 years. Just you and me. Yeah, I mean, you've only been there once. I've been there 3 times. So that makes 3 plus 1, 4. You're finding out how hard it is. It's real hard. I mean, as you can tell by my year after, it just keeps weighing on you. You know, your shoulders sit a little lower. I mean, that just could be because my deltoids are getting bigger, but whatever. My traps. Yeah, I know, they're traps, Ridgeway. Calm down. Jeez. But, you know, just throw this year away, Dave. Just write it off. Show up to the draft next year. You know, we'll have a good time. You get drunk again. You just get super drunk at the lake house. Yes, it's going to happen again at the lake house. You know, you got to do everything that you did the year that you were in the championship game. Just get super wasted. And you have a good draft. Make sure you wear that Terrell Owens shirt. So, it's week 10. The playoffs are going to start to come into, come into clarity here this week, I think. So, I hope you got your rosters set correctly. just the way you like. You know, just 350, 35 minutes, just so it sears and simmers. Just get that pink right inside. So, you guys have a good week. We'll catch you next week.
Later.